Kong bows to no one. Welcome to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, the weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? I'm your host, Chris Compton. Let's get into our review and breakdown of Kong versus Godzilla. Or is it Godzilla versus Kong?
It's Godzilla versus Kong.
I think it's Kong versus Godzilla.
Look up your fact sheet.
Yeah, well, now we don't. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
We're really knocking it out of the park.
We may have to restart this whole podcast.
Let's see.
I think it is Godzilla versus Kong.
It is. It's Godzilla versus Kong.
I know Gia is only a child, but she's the only one he'll communicate with, and we need Kong.
Here we go. This won't end until one of them submits.
Are you sure the monkey's gonna survive this?
It's us I'd worry about.
It's so massive.
Godzilla vs. Kong. In theaters and on HBO Max. March 31st. Rated PG-13.
Well, I have some popcorn trivia. I don't have a lot just because the neckbeards put up like 500 or more like trivia points, and they were just so boring. Like, I don't really care.
It's just all the old like references. This is a throwback and Easter egg to Godzilla 1963.
Yeah, the original one.
But I did grab a couple that I think are interesting, like
Kong sitting on top of the skyscraper before it breaks in half.
Well, one of the ones that I didn't include here, but I remember that I liked was the reference to Jaws. Did you guys not catch that?
You mean when they're out in the ocean?
Yeah, when the anchor gets caught on
the boat and it
drags the end of the boat.
Yeah, you could see where Godzilla's around.
And then he comes up, and that's a pretty cool reference. And then we were joking around about the Back to the Future referentions that are probably not intentional.
Yeah, they're so weird that it's
the clothing department really.
It's hard not to see, not to think like, why is he always dressed like that?
Yeah, why does he always look like Marty McFly?
Yeah, why is he wearing
he did go back in time,
like the weird puffy, like
I guess that's true.
In a really vague way.
Speaking about time, the film takes place 5 years after Godzilla: King of the Monsters.
That's the thing about the
world. 50 years after Kong: Skull Island.
The absurdity of the King of the Monsters movie, though, is like the world was like permanently altered. Like Washington D.C. was like, and they don't address any of that at all because I think that they realized that it was so absurd what they had done by the end of that movie. Yeah, that they're like, just don't even think about it. Because like in this, like you wouldn't know. It's like, everything's mostly fine. They're monsters, but like
I feel like
that Mexican city that just got that Rodan escaped.
Yeah, well,
it was like a nuclear blast when he flapped his wings.
What's her name? 11 Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
MBB.
I'm actually
She mentions it. She says like, he left us in peace. I'm like, really? He destroyed half of the Earth.
It wasn't him. It was Ghidorah and all the the monsters.
Yeah, but still, it's like it feels like the Superman movie where they're just destroying. Everyone's dying. Like there's
it's Man of Steel, where they're doing 29/11s every 5 seconds during that last fight.
Smashing everything.
Like nobody's alive. Well, that's in
Hong
China
Kong.
anymore.
He's saving us.
Hong Kong's pretty much destroyed in this movie.
Yeah, what's up with it being in Hong Kong? Isn't that is that just an attempt to because how they get to Hong Kong is super contrived. Is it just for the global box office? Is it just to market it better in Asia?
1,000%.
Well, that's what was confusing because I would get wanting to bring it back to Asia, but why wouldn't you have them attack Japan or something, which is like Godzilla's origins, which would have been kind of a better homage. It's weird they go to Hong Kong.
Oh, man.
Well, the whole story is weird, but
I don't know. There was that one Transformer that also contrived its way into having the whole last act being in Hong Kong.
The director references a Transformer movie.
Well, it sounds like the same sound effects, certain parts too.
So this will be the first film in 59 years to feature both King Kong and Godzilla after King Kong versus Godzilla in 1963.
Oh, nuts. I didn't even know there was one.
And this is the 36th film in the Godzilla saga.
Holy cow.
And the 12th film in the King Kong
I don't know
saga.
that, like, you can't say that it's a part of a complete saga.
No.
I mean, Godzilla gets killed in the very first Godzilla movie.
Probably just a reference.
Exactly. So the reason Godzilla ignored Kong and his parents when they were on Skull Island was that they were essentially in exile after losing the war.
Okay, we need to talk about like the they have weapons and like stoneworking and metalworking.
Yeah.
What that implies about like who these ancient apes were.
Power charging from an
very
axe.
funny.
Yeah. According
Again,
to this,
dumb
it says
movie.
Godzilla laid claim to the Earth while the Kongs were confined to Skull Island for the rest of their lives. The Titans are smart enough to handle political exile. I mean,
Who's saying that? Is that someone's just interpretation?
Yeah, it's someone. That's why I
or maybe it's
included
like
it, 'cause
maybe it's
so
in the
dumb.
novelization.
That's some serious stretching right there. I bet that's
So
referenced in
dumb.
a comic book.
Yeah,
20 years
that's
ago.
what it sounds like to me. It's like some like tie-in comic book.
They know how to handle their own ecosystem.
Yeah,
they don't need outside interference.
You guys have really tiny brains,
Yeah,
you know that?
Yeah, lizards are smart.
I thought it was because like Skull Island was surrounded by a storm, and that was why.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
You just didn't know that they were there.
Godzilla can punch down through the earth, but he can't get through some storm
I mean,
clouds.
you just didn't know they were there.
so. When asked about
Possibly.
the apparent height difference between Godzilla and Kong in 2018, Adam Weingard said they gave us a good out in Kong Skull Island when they mentioned that Kong is still growing.
Yeah.
But that'll be a challenge we have to deal with, and we're very aware of that issue.
And he's still only like half the well, I don't know.
He's pretty big.
Yeah, they make him pretty big.
I mean, he gets big enough that he can deliver a couple of haymakers.
Well, the
Yeah.
scene where he comes out of the ground and he puts his axe down in the road, and it's like as big as the building next to
The
it, and then he's
the
able to move
absurdity
around with
of-
ease.
Yeah.
It changes all the time, but it's funny to watch.
So the other thing that I thought was interesting, Adam Weingard took 3 months of sign language lessons, but was incapable of grasping it. He ended up using an interpreter alongside Kaylee Hoddle so as to avoid embarrassing himself. Because the main
Good on him.
girl is
Is deaf. and has
Is
to
actually
sign.
deaf?
Is actually
Oh,
deaf,
okay.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
so he didn't want to, embarrass himself,
He didn't
which
want-
is good.
He didn't want to be a brave coward.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like I don't even know why there's human characters at all in this.
Oh man, it's just
It's like there's barely anything there.
And
like there's like kind of like bad references and like
It's the epitome of exposition. All they're there is to
Yeah.
explain what's going on. Otherwise, you
which I mean they kind of were in the other ones, but not.
I just feel like
as much.
we didn't. It's all of a sudden Millie Bobby Brown and the guy from the Wilder People. They're all
Yeah,
I
the
guess
guy,
we-
the kid from the amongst
I
the
thought he
Wilder.
looked familiar.
The
It was
Hunt
driving
for
me
the Wilder
crazy.
He's also in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, it's like
is the
we're just. I get it. Okay, they're friends.
It's
We're-
like
we
Spider-Man
just-
Homecoming.
but like there's
It's
not
just-
there's
then
that's what
how-
there's like 3 B plots and none of them are fully
Yeah,
developed.
and then she's listening to the podcast, and then all of a sudden, her and the podcast host is like they're just best buds, and then
Yes.
all of a sudden they're on this mission
because they
Yes.
don't drink fluoride,
and they
they're
just kind of
they're bonded together.
stumble into an elevator that takes
and
them to
he
Hong
just so
Kong.
happened to work for Apex.
Yep.
Like, I mean, like you said, I really appreciated your comment. Like, you can't,
Yeah,
you
like
can't nip
gotta
it.
it's why I'm saying like it's only really good watching once because when you watch it once, you're just getting the spectacle and like
It's
that's
just
all
awesome.
you want.
Yes,
And like again, the King of the Monsters was the same way. I saw that twice, and I was like, the second time I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of it's not the novelty is part of the joy there, and like this one, it's like, well. It goes places, and it's fun when you see it, but it loses that impact after you've seen it. And the story itself is not, it does not
Yeah, I
reward you
agree.
for looking at it closely.
yeah,
It's not good. It's great.
No, yeah, exactly.
yeah. That's
yeah.
what I like about it. It's
I mean, I don't know what you would want because, like, you wouldn't want this to be like a gritty, serious thing because
No.
it knows it's, and you also don't want it to be super self-aware where they're like, that happened, and that would be terrible too. Which
I mean, they did
You
it-
get kind of some of that with the podcaster and like the girl.
Did that
Well,
really just happen?
Yeah.
and the guy Chris Pratt stand in the guy the
Yeah,
author,
yeah. A little
he
bit.
says, well, I guess round 2 goes to
Yeah,
Kong.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess we're acknowledging that. And then there's a moment where Kong grabs like a fistful of fish out of the sea, and he's chomping it down, and then there's this moment where he like smiles at the camera. It's like they're trying it a little bit.
Well, that's what happened in Skull Island though, when he eats the squid out of the water.
Oh yeah, that's true. So I have one other thing that I liked that I picked up on, and I just want your guys' take on this. So Adam Weingard explained why the movie's runtime is a little less than 2 hours. He stated that this is on purpose, telling Variety that he prefers to keep his films under the 2-hour mark. The director also said that if Godzilla vs. Kong were to run for 3 hours, it likely wouldn't include an additional hour of the Titans duking it out. He stated, "A lot of the fans online were all asking me, is this going to be a 3-hour film?" When it was announced that it was a little under 2 hours, they were immediately thought, when is the director's cut coming out? I like movies under 2 hours. I think if you do a movie over 2 hours, you better have a dang good reason for it to be that long.
You better have a bigger plot.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, if you're going to make this movie into 3 hours, you're not going to get an extra hour of monsters fighting. You're going to get an extra hour of people talking about monsters.
If it goes 3 hours, it just becomes Transformers.
I think they maybe could have gotten a more coherent like story frame for the monster fights if they'd done it a little longer. But I mean, I don't know that it would have benefited the movie that much because, again, they've already kind of limited their scope to it being
just big creatures back.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the insanity of the world ending King of the Monsters one. So yeah, no, I think he's
like
right.
That, yeah,
he's again the guest.
He's not. He's not. So he's not the Bayham.
Dan Stevens just like entering that family's life and solving other problems. Amazing.
he narrates a ton of books online. He does a really good job, like as an audio narrator. It's crazy.
So I know we already mentioned you can't go too far in picking apart the plot, and I'm not going to do that.
You can,
but
it's just like, what do you do?
It's just a waste of time.
But it's like they didn't put in the effort. You're putting in more effort than they did in making it.
So I pulled this quote because I thought I really wanted your guys' take on this because I still don't understand if there is one. Let me read this. So Adam Weingard expresses his desire for the film to have a definite winner, stating, "I do want there to be a winner. The original film was very fun, but you feel a little let down that the movie doesn't take a definitive stance. People are still debating now who won in that original movie, you know. So I do want people to walk away from this film feeling like, okay, there is a winner."
Oh, yeah, there's a winner.
Yeah, there's a winner.
No.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
The one...
It's obvious. The one who didn't have to be
the one
like
teammate
jumper cabled.
Yeah, the one teammate got their butt dragged across the city pretty good towards the end to where they
I'm still
were having a hard time fighting.
Then who do you think
The
won?
one that would have... Well, I mean, like...
The one that needed assistance to get back in the game.
Yeah, the one who they had to hook the generator up to and jumper cable.
Because the other one was...
Kong is the winner?
No, he's the loser. In the actual fight itself, Kong loses.
But I think the movie's depicting Kong as the winner.
Kong the winner. That's why Godzilla just kind of wanders off into the sea. Godzilla got his butt kicked.
I disagree.
That's why they had to bring Kong back.
That's exactly why I bring this up, because I don't feel like there's a definitive winner.
To me, it felt Kong was definitely the winner.
No, I think Kong was the loser.
I felt
he was going to die without the human intervention there.
In which
he lost
in
the one-on-one.
Godzilla would have gotten smushed afterwards.
I mean, yeah, they would have. Obviously, he would have lost against the other.
Plus,
thing,
Kong put down the axe on the ground. Kong said, "Hey,
yeah, no, it seems like it was like a truce, but like I felt when they were actually fighting earlier on, Kong lost.
Because Kong realized who the actual enemy was.
Yeah, it's like it's a 2-1 because it went 3 rounds and Kong won one of them
by decision.
Lost 2. Yeah, exactly. TKO.
Kong by decision. Oh man!
I mean, you could just.
Adam, you suck at your.
I disagree. I think that it's clear.
I mean, I guess if you got Kong like staring him down like from an
the clear winner are the viewers who enjoyed the show.
That's
right.
That's true. Everyone loves this movie.
I just want to bet that everyone has a good time.
The American film viewer, the world film viewer.
Yeah.
Please visit your local cinema and support us kindly.
Movies are back, everyone.
Save movies.
It's
saved movies.
It's amazing how many people I talk to that have no clue that theaters are open again. Oh, they're actually showing movies now?
Really?
It was more that they stopped studios stopped sending their movies. They kept holding them because they're like, we're not going to send these off to die. We spent a lot of monies on these.
Yeah, like Top Gun and Mission Impossible. Like everything got shoved, and so now there's all this content to release. But now everyone doesn't realize that they're open again because now half of it's online anyways to watch at home.
Yeah.
Oh, they're open again? Oh, wow.
All right, I want your best scene, and also like, because you had some comments, Cole, that you were like, I have something to say about this because this was not what I expected.
Oh no, it just kept getting weirder and weirder. Like,
Yeah, the Hollow Earth stuff is unexpected.
Yeah,
I
it's
did
so
not.
weird, right?
Yeah, it's out of nowhere.
The second act is very
the
bizarre.
unobtainium stuff that they're finding. It's
The weird heaves.
And all it took
Yeah.
was this tiny little sample, and
and they were able to just from that recreate it on
hurry
Earth.
and
But I mean, it's all of these things that are just to speed up the plot.
Yeah, it's just campy sci-fi.
Just like
with
like
budget.
the portals that just lead them everywhere.
I mean, if I were to go back in time, I came out my first viewing from the theater. I was like, yes, that was awesome.
yeah.
And then this time I was like, that's pretty
Yep,
good.
yes, that is what these movies do.
So, yeah, I can't give it a golden bucket. I cannot give it a golden bucket.
It doesn't reward you for repeated viewings.
Yeah, I
Adam's
think,
gonna feel real sad when he listens to this podcast.
No, whatever, man. Adam, if you listen to this, The Guest was awesome.
All right.
Great movie. Continue doing what you're doing.
I mean, yeah, I like him as a director. I think he did it. He of all of the directors they could have picked to finalize this like saga.
They should have gotten Gareth Edwards. That would have been sweet.
No.
Yeah, I would support that.
No way.
No, he did the first
Yeah,
one.
I was gonna say, never mind. He did the 2014 one. That's right.
All right.
He would have been the other one to do a good monster movie.
All right. So
Which he did.
I said I'm giving it a large bucket. What's your ratings?
I'll give it 3 out of 4.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to see it once, it's not that long. It's got a lot of fun, stupid spectacle.
Yeah.
If you got kids, I think they'll like it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
my
like-
son was engrossed.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
8 years old.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to get scared, but he handled it pretty good.
I remember my nephews that are like 5 and 7 watched it, and they loved it with my brother. I remember him telling me. It's fun for all ages.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's not.
There's some like CGI violence between the monsters, but it's not that
Yeah.
bad.
I'm going to start calling you 3 out of 4 Marines.
Is that what I usually give it?
Yeah.
I give it like
I
some
give out the occasional
stars.
4 stars
Se-
and 2.5.
Are you going to give?
I give it a fair amount of stars.
700
First viewing,
stars?
and then after that, it's just some stars.
768,952.
Its novelty is most of it. Like it's the out of nowhere monster fights. It's the weird surprises. Like
Yeah.
you think about like what's happening in the movie. Yeah, it's not gonna reward you for that.
Well, any parting thoughts?
I think
It's
the
very
King of the
colorful.
Monsters is a better version of this.
Yeah.
As far as like the monster face-offs, because there's more monsters in that one.
I agree.
It's more absurd. It's a bit longer. Yeah,
Well, the director of Superman Returns, which is weird.
Really?
Bryan
that-
Singer? No, it isn't.
No. It was Michael Dougherty. I swear he did a Superman movie.
He didn't do Superman Returns. That was Bryan Singer.
Yeah, that
Before
was
his fall
may,
from
may he
grace.
not may his name not be mentioned.
I swear he might have been involved with Superman
For
at one
his-
point.
for his
'cause the guy that
crimes.
did King of the Monsters, I swear he was involved with Superman.
I don't know.
Sorry. Random
Well-
fact popped in my head.
But you
With
don't even
that,
know.
we're gonna-
random rumor.
We're going to end on a
What else
downer
was
with Bryan Singer.
What else was it that you? What was the other parting thoughts? I already forgot. Oh yeah, King of the Monsters was better.
The same
Kong
people,
Skull Island's better.
the same people
it's fine.
involved in Kong Skull Island and
Pacific Rim is better.
Godzilla vs. Kong are also going to be involved in the Metal Gear Solid movie. Coming
That's
out,
never gonna come out.
Yeah,
they're
and
working on it.
Also, that'll also be bad.
Heck no, I'm so excited.
But I think, I know we said all the other monster movies were better, but having this at the end is nice. You
Yeah,
should
it's
see
fun.
it.
Yeah, it's not.
But those ones are cooler.
Yeah, I liked those other ones more. They were more absurd.
With
This one's
that,
plenty absurd.
It's
but
not
this
the
one more
Avengers
absurd.
of assembling all the other movies together, but it's
Correct.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
But again, like, how do you follow up like the King of the Monsters? Because that kind of did almost every monster but Kong. So I mean,
yeah. I mean,
they kind of already like had
they
already
jumped the
gone
shark.
through every. Yeah, they kind of like already did everything too early. I would say
and they threw in a bunch of
they created a bunch of new
references.
monsters.
Yeah, some
too.
monsters
Yeah,
in
they
the-
did all sorts of stuff. But
in
anyway.
Middle Earth, or what are we?
Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth.
Middle Earth is hobbits.
But that is
The
in
Upside
Hollow
Down.
Earth is in Kong Skull
The
Island
Hollow
too.
Upside
They talk,
Down.
They
The
talk about
hollow
it there.
upside down world. Well, with that, hit me up on the Twitters or the Instas if you want to interact with the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I respond to every tweet, post, comment, hashtag, and whatever else there is. Let us know if there's something you'd like us to review. Also, if you've enjoyed this or any of our previous episodes, please subscribe so that you can get notifications on our newest episodes. Muchas gracias. I love movies, and I would love it if you would share the love.
He would love to love the movies.
Another way to share the love is sharing those dollars. I've created a Patreon account if you've liked anything up until this point and want to support the show so we can continue to bring you these entertaining reviews. Please do so at patreon.com/popcornpriest. And to be honest, I haven't looked at what I'm releasing next week, so it's going to be a surprise.
Beautiful.
As always, thanks for listening.
The surprise for who?
This has been Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. This is awesome.
Glad to be here. Glad to engage in the mutual love of movies.
I love it, and I love that you guys are here, and I appreciate it. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.